Okay, guys, if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. I don't think we got anybody on now, but I'll sit here until we do. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. You're more welcome to jump in here and say something. I know the lighting's not the best. I'm in my truck. About the only way to do this right now. So got one on here. I don't know who that is, but if you can hear me, by all means, say something. Alrighty. Let's see here. I don't know. Let's see here, guys. I'm turning on live chat. What's up, Brandon? So that's you. Okay, cool. I'm seeing my messages now. Alright, I got a couple on here. So what's everybody up to tonight? Well, I like me sitting in your truck just chatting on YouTube. Let's see, maybe I'm seeing my messages, I don't know. Somebody say something again. Hey, or whatever. Working on videos, so you guys can hear me fine, is that right? Awesome, good deal. So I've got some big news, and I guess I'll go ahead and start saying or tell my story. I know you guys have been the ones that's been watching my channel know that I've been kind of piddling around with this excavating and whatnot for about 3 or 4 years now. I've been, just to do a little background, I have been in this type of work, so to speak, since 2004, I guess, 2003, 2004. Used to help a good friend of mine when I could. He built houses, so he actually taught me to run a skid steer way back in 02, 03, 04. I think the first machine I ever ran was a Case 1845. And I didn't know what I was doing. My dad and them, they had an old dozer years ago, and when I was in high school, just for the farm, and I didn't really know how to run in there. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. But anyway, I got out of high school and I took a job at an Express Lube, and I did mechanic work or oil changes and whatnot for 5 years there, and then I got on with the state of Alabama Department of Transportation, and that's really when things took off for me as far as learning excavating and heavy equipment and whatnot. I was on a what they call the construction crew, and we did inlet work, drainage inlets, patching work, paving, all types of road maintenance. So anyway, that kind of got me on a little further, and left that job. 1845 is a good machine. Now listen, I could not get on an 1845 today and run it. I couldn't even make the bucket hit the ground. I can't run it. What do they call them? EH controls? I can't run those. But anyway, so it's terrible. I mean, it's terrible. So I got on. After that, I took a job with the natural gas company here in my area, and 1840. Yeah, I think I've heard you talk about that. Those are really good machines. I mean, just solid machines. I mean, anything back then, Case was good stuff. The old backhoes, 580K backhoes and all. Yeah, and then went to the 250. so I took a job with a natural gas company, and I thought I was going to be learning the gas side of things and utilities, and I wound up being the mechanic now, which is funny because I don't consider myself a mechanic. I'm going to set you guys up here if I can. Maybe it'll get a better light. Don't mean to change things, but well, my little tripod fell. But anyway, so I didn't really learn much about gas, and I took another job. Really, in 2016, I decided that I wanted to buy me a skid steer. We got an older case 445. Heck yeah. I decided I wanted me a skid steer. So in 2016, I bought a Bobcat T190, and I looked around, and that's just the machine I ended up with, and I've traded up and traded around since then. I've had a Bobcat T190, a Kubota SVL75, then I had a Takeuchi TL10, sold that, got a 299C, which is it was actually a super track machine. Sold that, got my TL150, and then I sold it and got my 250. But I traded around and tried to build me up some money, saving and whatnot, and bought my 260. Built up my clientele over the past 4 years, and today, guys, this is not in the plan, but or wasn't in the original plan. The original plan was to work till I was 49 and take my state retirement. But today I turned my 2-week notice in, or 3-week notice. Anyway, whatever it may be. December the 11th is my last day to be employed by the public, or hold a public job. I will be working for myself. So I'm excited. I know a lot of guys are going to say, well, it's winter time, president, whatever. I'm not worried about all that. I'm able to save up a little money, and I'm excited, Brandon. Man, I'm stoked. It's a big jump, but remember, yeah, exactly right. That's exactly right, man. I kind of adopted the philosophy: you can't fail if you don't ever quit. So, I mean, I know I'm going to have failures. I know there's going to be things go wrong, but I think as long as a man has the mindset to persevere and just go through it, whatever it may be, if you want to make it work, it'll work. And this is like, I know a lot of you guys are the same way I am. This is just more than a job. This is a passion. Oh yeah, exactly. This is a passion, man. This is what I think about all the time. When I'm at work, I'm almost done with my first year of my own business. Good, man. I hope it's done good for you. I really do. But yeah, it's my passion. I watch all of these guys on Instagram, Facebook, and I know that's all the good side of it. I'm well aware of that. I've had my issues just being part-time and things breaking and whatnot. I've rebuilt the engine in my dump truck this year. Several things have went wrong, and I'm around it at my job. I see the failures of equipment and what it can do. So I'm not new to any of that. But anyway, I'm excited. So killing it, man. Heck yeah. Well, you are too, Brian. You are too, man. I've watched you since you bought the first Peterbilt. You guys, Brandon and Brian and a lot of you other guys, man, y'all have been a big inspiration to me. My worst day. Heck yeah, man. I understand that. Hey, when you get up in the morning and you go to your job and you walk in and you're just thinking about quitting time, or you're thinking about, Friday, and or you're like me, you're thinking about, man, you know, I can't wait to get off work so I can go do this, or I got this job Saturday, or, you know, and hey, that's another thing. Since my son's come along, you know, it's taken a lot of time away from my family, and, you know, doing 2 jobs, it's been kind of rough. So it's another thing. I've decided, you know, I had to quit one, and might as well quit the one I like the least. So anyway, I know I'm kind of rambling here, but I just had to get on here and tell you guys I'm excited. I got 11 views, 11 whole viewers. That's awesome. I mean, I know that don't sound like a lot, but hey, I feel like that's awesome for me. Oh yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So I'm hoping I can build my channel up now. I'm hoping I can do more videos. See, a lot of the reason I haven't been able to do a lot of videos being part-time is because it's not views currently watching. Oh, cool. As I'm in such a rush right now to try to get my jobs done, you know, before I have to go back to work or whatnot. So I don't have a lot of time to set my cameras up and change things around. So I'm hoping, I'm really going to strive to put up more content. I think, hey, Dirt Digging, in case you missed it, I don't know if you were here. I turned in my notice today. I'm quitting my job to go out full time. So I may have to do some YouTube collaborations with some of you guys. May need some training by some of you guys, if you know what I mean. I might have to come visit, and, you know, now that I have time, I can get out and do that. I might have to come visit some of you and let you show me some ins and outs of some things. It reminds me of when I got fired. Hey, listen. So let me just tell you guys how all this went down today. I've been thinking about this for a while. I am in North Alabama, Mike. I'm in the Albertville, Guntersville area. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Lake Guntersville. I have a lot of bass fishing down here. Anyway, so I walk in this morning, and my boss, my supervisor, he's known I've wanted to do this for a while. I mean, everybody's seen it coming, you know. Keep up with Elite Franchise. You need to get a tandem and a trailer that hauls both machines. Hey, yeah, exactly. That's coming. That's coming. So I went into, well, my supervisor, we shared an office actually. So we sat down talking this morning. I said, so just, you know, if I do decide to leave, because we had already had a conversation. I said, you know, how much of a notice will you need? And we talked about it a little further, and he said, you know what, Drew? He said, you're just going to have to do it, man. He said, you're just going to have to rip the Band-Aid off and do it. He said, so just tell me, let's right now. When do you want to do it? He said, I don't want you to leave, but I know that's what's best for you. So when do you want to do it? And so we talked about it a little further, and we decided December the 11th. So wrote my resignation letter, went up to the personnel director, and he told me, he said, man, if I had your equipment and your skills, he said, there's no way I would be here. So, you know, they're both saying that, both are excited for me. Everybody I've talked to is excited for me, and I'm not, you know, gullible enough to believe, or, you know, that everybody's going to be this way. But, you know, anyway, April 26th. My wife says she thinks the microphone is a little too much. Well, my phone's screwed up, so I have to have this microphone. I'm going to move it right here. Can you guys still hear me? Oh, yeah, man, he's a great guy. He really is. They all are. They're good people, and they told me, I don't know if you guys know this, I work for a city municipality. I was the assistant department head at the street department. And so whatever the ethics laws are in Alabama, I don't know if it's 2 years or 3 years. Either way, whenever that time lapses, they say they're going to call me back to do some work for them, whatever it may be. If it's replacing cross drains in the road, or anything like that, I'm going to be more than welcome to bid the jobs and get some work out of that. So that's awesome. Left on good terms. I mean, no reason not to, right? So I'm excited about that, and we talked about some other things, that I could probably add to my business maybe later on. That'll diversify me a little bit, because I really like the road work side of things too. It'd be pretty cool to be able to work for a city replacing some cross drains and doing things like that. And I live in an area where there's 3 cities pretty much back to back, and everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows it's Boaz, Albertville, and Guntersville, and everybody. It's just like one big town. It's 3 separate towns, but it's like one big town. So word travels fast. If you don't work, your family don't eat. And that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So yeah, man, they've been real supportive. Everybody's been real supportive. I know a lot of you has reached out to me through text messages and all, and phone calls, and if you remember that you always have enough money and more than you need. Yep. That's exactly right, Brian. But yeah, everybody's been super supportive. So you YouTube guys, I might could mail a little bit of thanks, man. I appreciate it. You don't know how much of an inspiration you are to me, Brandon. You have no idea, dude. Watching your stuff, man, and your work it's awesome. I mean, it's awesome. You're welcome. So anyway, so some of you YouTube guys, I'm going to get some hats made, and I'm going to get some things made, and might could ease some out your way if you might, throw a little shout out to me on your channel once in a while, maybe once or twice or whatever. That would be cool. Anyway, my name of my business right now that I've gone by for years, but everybody knows it by me, knows my name. It's Tennessee Valley Land Works. So if you look me up on Facebook, that's what you'll see. But I'm going to be changing my name to my name. My last name is Gardner's. It's going to be Gardner's Excavating. Just kind of, so I want to make it a little more personable. And I set a LLC up and all that. I'm going to be doing that. I've been kind of just doing this under the radar for a while now. So we'll be doing that. And so yeah. Oh yeah. So talking about dump trucks. I'm not gonna be able to buy anything for a while, but I've got my eye on a certain dump truck. There we go. That's it right there. Elite Earthworks Alabama Division. See, I've already got the Takeuchis and the International, so I am looking at a Peterbilt. Or I know where there one is. I know where there is one. It's not white though, man. It's like a pewter color, and it's a triaxle. But anyway, so I would fit that scheme, Van Dyne dump truck in Alabama. Yeah, oh yeah. Always got, yeah, all right, man, yeah, whatever. Oh man, I looked at a Peterbilt the other day, a single axle, a 375 with a 3176 Cat. Actually, a buddy of mine used to own that truck. It's got a 9-speed in it. It doesn't have a bed on it, and I was toying with the notion of taking my bed off my International and sticking it on it. But I thought that would be pretty cool, but I think it's got an ECM problem, so it's worth the money, but I just don't know that I really don't need a project right now, for sure. Anyway, so yeah, yeah, I'm tickled, guys. I'm tickled. Do I have to? Oh Lord, get at it, man. Have a safe night, Dirty Digging. Do I have to paint my wheels black? Really? I mean, is that something? Thank you, sir. Is that something I've got to do to keep my franchise? Yes, it's required. Hey, I'm fixing to paint the wheels on my ton truck, though, my Dealy, my flatbed. Sure enough, gonna do that. And get me some chrome center caps for it. But anyhow. So yeah, I got some jobs coming up. I actually had a call by a phone company in the area. They're a little north of me. They're gonna build a little substation, and they need a driveway and a pad put in. And it was so far out of the way, I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it working part-time, but I'm pretty excited to be able to bid that. And that could turn into more work. And I've had two builders now get in touch with me. You know, nobody knows around here yet. You guys are hearing it first. You should feel special. You're hearing this first. Nobody around me really knows yet that I've took it off full-time. And if you could make my truck a 379, I'd appreciate it. You know, I've looked into that, how to change the hood. I didn't know if you could put a 378 hood on it, but you know, the more I look at those 377 and 375s with the integrated headlights, they've grown on me. I mean, they really have. Never give up on a job when it sucks. Just keep on. Oh yeah, I understand that. I've already been there, Brian. Part-time. I've already been there. When I remember. Yeah, I remember when I first bought my Bobcat T190. I bought a brush cutter. Well, I actually didn't buy one. I bought the machine really. I bought that machine because I was going to piddle around here. I was making payments on the truck, just to be honest with you, that I didn't really need. And I thought, well, this is stupid. I could buy a machine and make a little bit of money with it. So I got online looking around, and Bobcats are pretty popular around here, or used to be. And the service was pretty good. So I found a used T190 in Georgia, and I bought it. Cab machine and all. And a buddy of mine does mulching. He said, you know, he may be watching tonight. I don't know if he is or not. He'll probably say this later. He said, I got a brush cutter you could use, you know, it'll fit on that machine. You know, it might help you make the payment doing some of these brush cutting jobs that I can't get to. I said, okay. So I stick that brush cutter on that T190, and it's a 72-inch, a 6-foot cutter on a 66 horse machine. And it was all it wanted, man. It run hot with me. And I remember I priced the job really before I knew the production level of it. And for lack of a better term, I mean, I lost my tail. I remember riding that thing through, doing that, and I was like, dear God, I'm never going to get this done. I think by the time it averaged out, I think I did that job for like $40 an hour. I know, I'm probably not the only one that's ever did something like that, or done something like that. That's a good learning experience, for sure. I learned that a Bobcat T190 wasn't a brush cutting machine. What I learned. And I think that's the same job I slid off in a creek. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. That's better than... Well, you're right. At least I paid for my fuel. At least I paid for my fuel. I remember being a nervous wreck because I always heard of these brush cutting and mulching machines burning. And The insurance really wasn't settled on that machine. I went and picked it up on a Friday, and I done that job on a Monday. And the insurance really wasn't settled up on that machine, and I wanted to get it done. Man, thank you so much. Appreciate that. And I did a little bit of work, and I remember going out there. I don't know, I pulled off that job at like 8 o'clock. It got dark. And I come home, and I got stressed out thinking about it. And I went back out there to where that job was to make sure my machine wasn't on fire. Oh, that's crazy now looking back. Right, that's exactly right. So Brian, are y'all shut down for paving right now? I know you haul a lot of asphalt. I'm assuming you probably are. I'm gonna make what was I gonna say? Crap, I'll think of it in a minute. My brother-in-law hauls asphalt. He's got 2 triaxles, and he does that. I don't haul asphalt anymore unless I have to. Well, yeah, I can understand that. If it's like it is around here, it's cutthroat. Especially if you're working for a contractor that's, well, some of them around here are. It isn't really the contractor that is, it's some of the other drivers. Got my super working dedicated to a quarry. Oh, okay. That's cool. That's cool. So, yeah. I know a guy that burned up a few T300s using forest oil, overheated the hydraulic oil and burnt them to the ground. That's happened on, I'm going to tell you the machine that happens to the most is a Cat 299. If you're watching this, I've been dabbling in this mulching for 3 or 4 years, and I know a lot of people that do it. There's several groups on Facebook I've been a part of. Cat 299 is really, really bad about burning. They build up debris around the DPF can, and you can't clean them out. And when that thing goes into the regen, it'll light that can, around that can up, and then it's right by the fuel tank, and there it goes. Now you can buy the land management package on these new ones that's got externally mounted fuel tanks. It's supposed to eliminate that. But here's the fact of the matter. I don't care if it's an ASV, Cat, whatever. I just don't, skid steers just don't fare well to mulching. They just, I mean, if you're doing it here and there, now and then, it's okay, but to run one 10 hours a day, every day, you're just asking for problems. I mean, they're dirt pushing machines. Now, brush cutters running one every now and then, yeah, that's fine. But just to ask one to run a forestry mulcher day in and day out, I mean, it just can't hold up to it. It'd be like going out here, to me, and sitting down on an interstate with a bobcat and a milling head, you know, trying to keep up with an asphalt paver. You know, it just don't make sense. They got machines that do that. I mean, if you're running out clearing the right of way here and there every now and then, I think they're fine for that. Especially those ASV machines, they're pretty good ones. And Takeuchi, I think they're all right too for mulching. But you know, I peeled around with it. My TL150 was a Super Track modified machine that was made to do that, and you know, I mean, it wasn't the most productive thing in the world. It was okay. I mean, it would probably do as good as anything now, but any skid steer. But anyway, I just don't have the patience for it. It drives me nuts. How can you pay off for $40,000? No kidding. Some of them heads are, you know, $35,000, and you know, it's like this. I make these mulchers. That's exactly right. It's okay every now and then. Every now and then it's fine. It's a lot better doing it in somebody else's machine. I'll put it that way. A good example, I make these mulchers for mini excavators, for, you know, from the 9-ton machines down. You know, like these 80s, 290 Takeuchis, KX080s, VI080, and they're, you know, $20,000 plus. I don't see the production there. I don't see how you can justify spending $20,000 on something that's not productive. It's just not. You can stick a brush cutter on a Mini X and probably do just as good. In fact, I'm looking at buying another one for mine. Well, see, Brian, I think unless you've got 100 horsepower, I just don't think mulching is productive. It's just not. A brush cutter, now, that's a different story. A brush cutter is a different story. I'm actually looking at one right now. Supposedly I pulled the trigger on it today, but I haven't paid for it. A brush cutter, another one for my Mini X. The one I had, I didn't. If you look back, I had a Rut brush cutter. It was actually called a mini mulcher. I'm going to say this, and I mean this in the best way possible. That's right. That's exactly right. Jenkins makes a. Never heard of them, Mike. Have to check them out. The people at Rut, and they might be watching my channel, Ira and that family, they are wonderful, wonderful people. They help me out tremendously. I'm not going to say anything bad about their product. They're great people, and I would, if they had something. In fact, I've looked at their tilt buckets for my machine. But the little mini mulcher, I just didn't like the design of it. That's just that's the whole reason I sold mine. I personally didn't like the design of it, so I'm going to more of a standard brush cutter. And what I'm looking at, it's got like 3 blades on it and some teeth on the bottom, carbide teeth. I've got a lot of calls for brush cutting work for my Mini X here lately. In fact, if I do get one, it's probably going to be stuck on a job. A buddy of mine's going to rent it. It's going to be stuck on a job for like, I don't know, nearly a month. Okay. What I had was the Rut Mini Mulcher, and it had like carbide teeth from a stump grinder, pretty much is what it amounted to. Now that thing would take down, I wear a size 14 shoe, or 13. What are y'all getting an hour for brush cutting in Alabama? I'll get to that in just 1 second. Let me answer this question. So, I mean, I cut down a 13-inch tree with it. Now, I cut it, I couldn't do anything with it. From about 3 inches on up, if you didn't grind it from the top down, you weren't going to do anything with it when you got it on the ground. Also, the front of it was exposed. Yeah, you were right this morning, Caleb. The front of the cutter head was exposed, the disc was exposed, and it was really, really, really easy to get in the ground with it. Now, I've griped and pissed and moaned about my coupler on my 260. It's got some slop in it, so it was really easy to get it in the ground. And me hitting the ground with it caused it to blow a seal. Well, it blew the seal twice. And part of that reason is because it needed a case drain line. But anyway, I just want something that's got kind of like a guard on the front and a guard on the back, so you can just kind of ease it and run it along the ground. It's a tag, exactly. Now I'm fixing to remedy that. So I'm trying not to get too wild on buying any attachments for that thing. I've been talking to my dealer about putting a can't talk. My dealer here, Cowan Equipment, which is not where I bought that machine, they don't even offer a tag coupler for those machines. They use a work brow, and I think that's what yours has, Brandon, if I'm not mistaken. I may be right on that. But I'm going to get a work brow pin grabber later on. It's not the it's not an electric one. I can't afford that. But I'll get the regular work brow pin grabber, and he's already priced it to me, and I think they have a couple of used buckets or whatnot. He said he'd help me out with that, but I can change the coupler on this cutter that I'm getting to a pin grabber coupler, so that'll be awesome. As far as charging, brush cutting, I try to charge. They take a check so you don't need money. Yeah, exactly. I charge by the job. Now then, I've got a specialty machine that a lot of people around here don't have yet. So, you know, a lot of people don't like to hold a brush cutter and a weed eater, you know, and walk off a big steep hill. So I kind of just price by the job, and in my mind, I'm thinking I can get 150 plus an hour for that thing. And so I kind of figure how long it'll take me to do a job, you know, and I've got a minimum, and I'll set that minimum. I'll do that minimum, and then if it's over that, you know, of course they're paying over that. It's usually a minimum price or a full day price. Really is about what it amounts to, because but anyway, you know, you get in a niche market like that, you know, I'm not trying to rip people off, don't get me wrong, but anyway. Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't run this stuff for nothing. You sure can't. And, you know, I just travel around. I hadn't done much work outside my county, so anyway, yeah, you know, like I said, I'm not trying to rip people off. I hope nobody thinks that, but it takes a big toll on that machine to run that cutter. You know, it's you're heating hydraulic oil up. You're heating. I think they recommend, if I'm not mistaken, changing the drive motor oil. If you're running a cutter pretty regular or constant flow hydraulics on that machine, and Brandon might know this, he's read it, I think it's every 100 hours you're supposed to change your drive motor oil, and you're supposed to change your hydraulic